And hello to all my Pisces friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for October 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you Pisces a very special setup. They want to talk about health and spiritual health here. So we're going to do a health-based specific corner spread. We're going to set it up in the storyline format, which allows me to be very accurate because it's like a big scatter shot across the sign of Pisces. Bunch of mini readings all in one, because we're going to be telling 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 different stories for different Pisces all about health or spiritual health. A lot of different directions they can go with that. May not sound like the most fascinating thing, but I'll tell you what, these health setup here, specific corner health scrubs have been one of the most interesting spreads I've ever done. They always are very fascinating. So we're going to dig into that. They've asked that I conclude your reading at the end with an angel protection card. That's just going to give us a little extra oomph, a little push in a certain direction, and that'll pretty much be that. Also going to conclude your reading with the Runestone and have to tell you about this wonderful display right here. So we have a lot to talk about, Pisces. Let's get started. We'll waste no more time. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch. Hit that like button if you're ready to have a great October. Here we go. Get the overhead going. And we are on and recording. So what I'm doing now, Pisces, I like to do on camera every single time. It's the same procedure for personal private readings. So it's just like you're here with me now. We're basically cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. Do that with both of these guys here. And that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And then they're ready to go. Now the storyline spread starts with 5 cards, and I expand out from there where I need to. So here's your base 5, your main group. These are the most important cards that you have. And that's actually going to be our end. It's going to be a shorter storyline. And the reason that it ends is because you can see this guy, even though he's upside down, is facing inward. And this one at my other end is also facing inward. We got 2 of the crows facing that way. I know we got 1 going the other way, but the majority are facing in. So we have a bracket here. So that is the end of our storyline. Now I need to get the pairings together. 2 inverts, not a big deal. We're going to leave that as it is for right now. Those guys are going to stay together for sure. Now over here, it's going to have to go like this. There's no other way. So we got 3 stories, and it's going to be set up like this. Even though this is a pip, it's just going to have to be a standalone short little story is basically what that means there. Now I need more cards to describe, so this is where the table starts to get full. If it gets too full, I will move the camera around to make sure you guys can see everything. That being a pip card, we'll just get 1 card, and well, in this case, it's going to get 2. I'm going to do 1 more card just to make sure that's not a person, and it is. They're actually talking about a person there. Let's see what that person's doing. Okay, now that story's complete. Now over here, got another king, another person down here, so I do need 1 more card. Make sure it's not a person. That one is not. We're using the energetic definition there. Choking on the incense here a little bit. Let's go, all right. I think we're all good there. Now I just need to check my inverts. A lot blocked here. This is going to need a discard because we got 75% blocked. They want it read that way. The discard showed upright, so that's the way they want it to stay. Leave it alone, basically, Spirit says. So we will do that. This story is good. Distribution the way it is, as is this. So we're all set with these cards. I do need Angel Oracle card for every story. Just gives us a little bit of extra information. And then I got to make sure you guys can see it, and we're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to read them in order, left to right. So we're going to actually read the story to the left of my hand there first, with chopped wood at the top, ending at the bottom with the 2 inverted cards. And then we're going to do story 2 is going to go up here. I'm going to pan up. Basically going to be right here between my hands with flexible. And then story 3 is going to be all the way down here. I believe you can see that now with time for a nap. And our ferret card, which is the Fool in this deck. And we're ready to go, guys. Let's get started. There it goes. Okay. All right, Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Story number 1, guys. We start with some things that are getting resolved. Keep in mind that this is all about health, all about spiritual health. So when things are getting resolved here, usually this is more physical based. So this is like overcoming injuries, getting healthier, like you're on the mend, things are getting better. They basically say the war is over. Okay, so the battle is over. The war is over. Maybe the war is not over, but the battle is. Okay, so maybe this is not the end-all, be-all for whatever you're doing with your health. But for right now, things are getting a little smoother, a little calmer, moving in a good direction there, because it is my war card and it is inverted. So it means that coming out of that, so it shows that some of my Pisces here in story 1 have been going through some stuff with some health struggles, maybe some sickness, maybe some injuries. Context is going to be key in a general reading. Of course, it always is. So keep in mind that, this is a general reading. We do have a lot of Pisces tuning in here. So finding the context of what this means to you is really what the trick is to get that. Now, if you're looking for personal private readings, messages that are specific only to you, I do offer those on my website, scottsagent.com, and a wide variety of different products that's right for you. Now, the next thing that they really talk about here is the Empress card, which is very good feminine health, the divine feminine. And it has so many different meanings. That card is very hard to read. Since we are in a health kind of a spread, this is usually more like birth. It can mean actual birth, or like something coming to reality. So something becomes real here in October if you're here with me in story 1, Pisces. So this could be like, you've been thinking about this diet and you just got to a point now where now the war is over, right? And now you got the time. Maybe the war was work, or your time being put in a bunch of different places. Well, now you have this wonderful opportunity to do something that is brand new and make it real. So reality check, here it comes. So it's very good feminine energy too. A lot of different meanings, like I said. They talk about chop wood, so they want you to get to work here. So it's like the timing is no better than possible than October. This is it, guys. Chop wood, bust it out. This is the time to go, go, go. Anything with your health here that they're referring to, especially if you come out of some chaos. That was kind of the trigger of where they wanted to attach to you here. They do talk about selling something, so that's an interesting way to put it. This can also be a spiritual disconnect too. So we are kind of moving a little bit out of the physical term here. So I do feel like there is a deeper layer to this. For some of you, they're letting me know something with your leg or ankle too. Now that, of course, is not spiritual, but my leg just itched. I don't know if you just saw me do that, but that was basically them trying to give me a direction on where to go with this here. So for some of you, something needs to be sold. It is I'm going to give you the weirdest example that just popped in my head, just so you understand it. This would be something like if you owned an ice cream maker or a cotton candy machine, or like something where you could make a whole bunch of good stuff yourself. And that's attributing to your lack of health here, right? So this would be something good to sell here, is what they're saying. So something that is getting in the way of your progress could be sold here. Now, the other definition, like I told you, is a spiritual hangup of some form. So we need to get the spiritual chakra stuff going too. Now, they kind of left that there. They left that one a little bit more vague, a little bit more open, but they do give us a little hint with the next card. But this is more like letting you know that things are going to take time. This is not going to be like an instant gratification hit. It's not going to be a quick deal where, like, let's say it's you losing weight. You're not going to just lose this weight in like 2 weeks. This is going to take some months. So it's a slow game. It's letting you know, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means be patient with yourself. Be patient with the progress that you make in regards to your health and spiritual health. So even along your spiritual path, and, maybe you're having a hard time meditating. Maybe could be a slew of other different things. Maybe you're having weird dreams. Give yourself patience, give yourself time. So that's story 1, guys. Give yourself that growth opportunity. Sometimes it takes time to grow. Story number 2, Pisces, we start with learning lessons. That's good. Not really moving forward with lessons, but lessons learned. So a lot of my Pisces here have figured some things out, either about their bodies or their spiritual growth. Okay, so you guys have a pretty good handle on it. You're not necessarily doing a lot with it, though. It makes me feel like you have all this knowledge, but you're not practicing, you're not implementing it into anything. You're just kind of letting it sit. So it reminds me of like the first thing that popped in my head again. If you study like herbal medicine and you know like all kinds of stuff about it, the average person almost knows nothing about that kind of stuff, right? Well, here's something that you have really done a good job of learning and attaining, but then you don't do anything with it. You haven't turned it into a business. You haven't really eaten that way yourself per se, or something like that. So that's just one example, giving you the vibe of what this card means. So you've learned so much here, but it's time to put it to use. That's really the key. They do say be flexible here, so don't be too rigid with this. It kind of ekes into story 1 a little bit with the fact that this is a slower growth. So being flexible just lets you know that there's going to be some times in here that don't necessarily go exactly the way you want, or that are just a little bit challenging or something like that. So you got to be able to make it around these bends, make it around these turns. If you're too rigid, you're going to get stuck when there's a turn, metaphorically. So that's what happens there. Now in the second story, this is where they brought in a person. Usually this is a male because they brought in a king. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily a biological male for everybody, but regardless of who they're talking about here for you, this is a very strong person, because the masculine energy brings that. So even if they're talking about a woman, this would be a very strong woman. Okay, so this is my cuckoo clock, owl on a cuckoo clock card. This bird deck is a very philosophical deck. It means a lot of deep meanings. It's what they wanted to use for you guys here. So Pisces, this male that they're talking about is part of this story. So I don't know directly what that means to you. Maybe the lessons were about the relationship. Maybe the lessons were about dealing with this one individual. Maybe, maybe something like that was affecting your health physically, and you had to overcome that to get to a place where you are in a good physical headspace, or in a physical place where you can improve, maybe even your mental health. It could go a bunch of different ways there. My last card is going to be a kind of the trigger to give me more direction with that. It is my 8 of Swords. It is inverted. So they're letting me know here there is more flexibility. Well, flexibility twice. So flexibility is a big deal here, okay? Because there's more freedom coming. It may not be here right away. Again, it's a slow growth, but there is, there is more freedom involved here. So maybe you're having more time to actually focus onto your health, or to focus on spiritual health. Maybe you're gonna work on clearing up your chakras, do some meditation, learn certain things about spirituality. Basically just grow in general and being flexible. And there's another person involved here, so maybe it's even you guys doing something like that together. There's so many different ways that can go. I don't want to tie it down too tight, because then the message will just hit where it's supposed to, miss, I guess is what I meant to say. The message will miss where it's supposed to hit with some of my audience. So that's story 2, guys. Let's get into your moon cycles. That's going to pertain directly to some of these stories, and then we're going to get into story 3. Your moon cycle forecast is something I like to give you guys every single month, so you know what's coming. This month in October is very similar to what we just lived in September. Very similar. Almost exactly the same, with the example of 1 day difference. Now, the first thing that hits is the full moon. That happens on October 9th. That is the best time to get anything out of your life. The garbage truck of the universe energy is what I call it. Get anything out of your life that you don't want early in October to kind of mid-month there. Does not have to be on the 9th. Anytime right in that window is very nice to do so. Adversely, well, before I tell you the new moon, let me give you some examples of full moon stuff. You want to break some habits, break some bad habits. You want to get some emotional baggage off your chest. Open up your heart chakra a little bit here. Let's say you need to get rid of actual people. Some of us have some bad people, bad cordage attached in our lives that we need to get rid of and purge. And that purging energy happens under the full moon. Maybe even just old stuff you got to sell. Doesn't matter. If it's something that's got to go, the full moon helps you get it out. Now let's talk about that new moon. That new moon comes in on the 25th, which is the same new moon date as last month. So this is the best time to bring anything brand new into your life that wasn't there before. This could be anything from brand new love, if you're trying to attract brand new love, trying to do something new financially, trying to do something new with work, maybe get a promotion, maybe get a new job, something new with health. That's what this whole thing is about, is expanding your health and improving your health, your physical health, spiritual health, any kind of new stuff, guys. Even if it's like a yoga class, you decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to do a yoga class sometime soon. Well, I would say the best time to do that is the end of October. Okay, so that is your new moon energy and examples of how to use that to benefit you and make things go a little bit smoother in your life. That's what it's all about. That's what the moons do. The energy is already out there, so you might as well take advantage of it. Now, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet in case any of this confuses you at all. And that is just a graphic aid, a little tool to help you guys understand and see these energies flowing. And when you can kind of trigger certain things, important things in your month, in your life, to these dates, just to make it flow a little smoother. That is free. It is parked on my website, scottsagent.com. It's parked under the videos page at the bottom there. You can see the moon cycle cheat sheet. And, use it for positive growth. That's what it's all about, guys. While you're at the website, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. I almost forgot to just tell you that, and that's huge because my newsletter people, I take really good care of them. They get a couple free readings every single year just by being signed up to that. So make sure you're signed up for that if you haven't yet. And actually, my newsletter people are going to be very happy about something they get next month in November. So make sure you're signed up for that. And also, tell some friends. If you got friends that are into this kind of stuff too, they would be very happy with you if you led them to that, because they're going to get something really special in November also. So make sure you're signed up there. Make sure you follow the Facebook page. Do giveaways on there every single month. We have a lot of fun, do a lot of different things around here. So that's the newsletter. That's the Facebook page. Got to tell you about this wonderful product right here. We're going to jump into story 3 and end your reading with an angel protection card. I'm going to cut away to tell you about this right now for about 1 minute. Be right back. This product was technically released last month in tandem, in unison with the Sunflower Potpourri as a rejuvenator, as an enhancer, but it does so much more than that, and now you can see it has its brand new labeling. The ladies are dressed, so to speak. When your Sunflower Potpourri sold separately doesn't smell anymore, once the scent is gone, this is the way to refresh it, rejuvenate it, and make it last for so much longer. And this is a 4-ounce bottle here, guys. It's got that same wonderful sunflower, flowery aroma, just tuned down a little bit, making it a little lighter, makes its uses much more diverse, much more widespread, and you can use this for a room spray. Make any room in your house smell better. Bathroom, room, cat litter box, use it in the car, make this car smell nice and floral, fresh. When we were designing this, we were basically like, well, why stop there? You can even wear this as a body spray. It is not as intense as a perfume. It's a little bit lighter, but it is designed to also do that. So you're going to love this so much that you'd even want to wear it. I mean, it just smells that heavenly. It's that divine. It is a great product that you will enjoy and be so happy that you picked up. Shipping free the entire month of October. I cannot promise that always, but I can promise it right now. In fact, everything in the shop in October will ship free for October only. Okay, Pisces, I am back with story number 3 for your health specific corner reading. Now, the first thing they talk about here is my Fool card. In this deck, they used a ferret to portray that, but basically it means the same thing that any Fool card in tarot means, which is a new journey. This is a brand new beginning. It's very exciting. It's actually good energy, even though Fool sounds like it's something bad. Fool is a very good card, and especially since it's upright, it's basically saying, hey, ready for this new journey. Like, kind of curious what this could be. If you're here in story number 3, some of you Pisces, they're letting me know you don't necessarily see it yet. But remember that this reading is for the entire month. It's not just for the first couple weeks when most people watch these videos. So, new journey coming in. Very good. And if you've been thinking about starting something with health, spiritual health, that's new. This is Spirit's way of saying, hey, this new journey's looking pretty good. All you got to do is do it. Got to start somewhere. So we just talked about that new moon cycle, new moon, October 25. Next thing they show here is taking great authority in your love corner. So this is making decisions for yourself, decisions with the family, your loved ones, close friends, anybody close to your heart. They are basically saying you need to be in control here of your emotions and in situations and in these circumstances in October. They show you guys do such a good job of that. But at the same time, when we have good things in tarot, we want to continue the good things so they keep moving in that positive momentum. And that's what they bring up here. So keep putting the energy into the family here if you're with me in story 3. Now that one is a little bit vague, but they gave us more details here. If you're still not sure what story is yours, because they show that something is not complete yet. So either something like a project needs to get done, or maybe you guys have talked about, joining the gym together or going on walks, or I feel like something has started here but not actually come true, not actually come full circle yet. So there's something there that needs to be completed. I have my World card inverted, which basically means if it was the World card, it would mean complete. In this way, in this turnaround, it basically means the opposite, which is incomplete. So there is something that needs completion here, either with the family or with the health in general, since we're talking about health today. Now they do show time for a nap, so that's letting me know that if you're one of those Pisces who's just been working yourself to death or running yourself ragged or just so busy that your sleep is taking a hit and you're just putting your body through all kinds of stuff here, it's time to relax a little bit. October is the time where you need to catch up. You got to hit the reset button on your life a little bit. You got to recharge the batteries. These are things that you have to do. You don't have to do it, but it's advised that you'd be very wise to do such things. Time for a nap, okay? So make sure you're not doing too much. Or if you do, it's okay to work hard and do things like that and be running around being a soccer mom and bringing the kids to all their different things. It's fine to do that, but there's got to be a recourse for that. There's got to be that time where you can just, like I said, recharge the batteries. The last thing they show here in story 3 is has a bunch of different meanings. It's my 3 of Wands. It's inverted. So here, this is in reference to a chapter that's not here yet. So again, they're making me feel like this is something you've been thinking about doing or starting perhaps that you just haven't pulled the trigger yet with health or spiritual knowledge, spiritual health. And this next chapter is coming in your health. It's starting to peek around the corner. It's just not necessarily here right now. And the timing is probably yours. We go back to the first card, which is the Fool, in this case, the Ferret, and the new journey. So when are you ready to take this new journey? Well, that timing is probably yours and less about the fate, okay? More about free will. The other definition of this card can be long distance travel. So they could be letting you know here too, if you're with me in story 3, that you don't have to go far to do this. You could actually do something closer to home, something more localized. So if, like, for example, there was a very specific goat yoga popping in my head. If you really wanted to do goat yoga and have the goats jump on your back while you're doing poses, maybe that's far away from your house, right? Well, maybe that's not necessarily what you need. Maybe, maybe you don't need to drive an hour each way to go to something like that. Maybe you could accomplish the same spiritual tasks and the same growth by going to something more close. A yoga class that is, 15 minutes away or something like that. So just giving you an example of the local aspect to story number 3. So that is the entire thing, guys. I did promise you guys an angel card. I got to do that. I got to do your runestone. Here, let's do the angel first. Okay, now this one is interesting because they're talking about a very specific thing here, and I'm wondering what story it is. I'm actually going to have to pull more cards to decide that. Not that one. This one. Okay, so I'm going to jump back to story number 2 for this one because the angel card they pulled is not for you. So they're letting you know here, the Pisces that are listening, this information, especially if you were here with me in story 2, is going to be about somebody else in a big way. It could be that king that we talked about here, that male energy or the very masculine force, okay? It could be more about them having to be flexible, them finding the freedom, and them learning from the lessons. So this could be more about you being the messenger here too. Very interesting way to put it, but they're letting you know here that this is not just about you in story 2. And I know we did kind of touch on that already in the story itself. Spirit did a good job of covering that, but they wanted to circle back. They wanted to come back and point the finger at it again and say, look, look, look. This is not just you here. This other person's got to do it too, or they got to, do their part. Energetically, they need to come to the table. They need to meet halfway, or whatever it is they're referring to. Let's get your runestone, guys. To wrap up what has been a very good, interesting health reading. I told you these guys are fun. Got a jumper. All right, so here we go. Pisces runestone for the month of October is going to be this one right here. I think you might be able to see it. It's one little line, and this means stand still. This is the runestone for stand still. Well, where did we hear that before? Well, let me pull it up on the board first with Tarok. There's stand still, just the one little line. There's stand still. So, where did we talk about that before? Story 3, guys. Take a nap. Stand still. Relax. Pause. Take a breath. Take a break. Do what you need to do here to come back. October is a bounce back month for my Pisces, especially in regards to health and spiritual growth. So this is the time to make sure you're getting enough rest. Sometimes, less is more, and standstill represents that. So this is not the month to, story number 1 was talking about busting it out, but everywhere else was kind of more, go with the flowish energy, and also kind of like watch things play in front of you, make these new journey decisions, figure this stuff out, And when the time is right, you're going to make it work. You're going to pull the trigger and you're going to go. And Pisces are going to be flourishing like they've never believed possible. Especially if you're aligning all of that with the moon cycles. You guys can hit some like perfect synchronicity going on there in a very strong way. So I believe that is everything. Angel protection, runestone. We've been through it all, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos, and have a great October.